Okay. I'm going to do a roll call as we are logging on here. So let's see. Who do we have from the Charlotte?
Corey Fox from Charlotte.
Hello, Corey. Happy New Year.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Okay. We have Ben. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
And we have Shane from Patterson Shop. Is that right?
Yes, here I am.
Good afternoon. Let's see here. And who do we have from the San Angelo shop?
It's Olivia.
Olivia. Good afternoon. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay. And Bruce. Hello, sir. Okay. You send out one more reminder. We have like 1 minute of time. Okay, well, we will get started with the code of values.
Hey, Kelly, let me read our value statement.
Okay.
I'll shorten this up. Okay. For all of you, we have a value statement. It's not meant to replace the code of values, but it's just a nice condensed version of it for meetings such as this, and we're working with outside people. It does incorporate respect, integrity, customers, and having fun in the process. I'll go ahead and read it now. It's showing respect for all people, acting with integrity in all dealings, and serving customers with enthusiasm and having fun in the process. So that's our elevator speech. I would like to say in this forum, serving customers with enthusiasm when sometimes it can be challenging, as maybe it can be challenging, and also making sure we're dealing with the utmost integrity when we're working with this program is very important. Kind of real important things that we continue to focus on as we evolve. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, well, we have several things, several slides to go over today. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll stop after every one and let you guys ask those. So first off is going to be discussion on our background, check status. I did some screenshots here to let you guys know. I have them all if it says compliant, that means that we received the email confirmation. Waiting means that it's been processed and we're waiting to hear if they're compliant or non-compliant. And then badge mailed, of course, means that I've sent you guys your badge. So if it says badge mailed and you haven't received it, shoot me an email so we can find out where those are at. So several shops we have here. Lots of our badges have come in. I received 10 badges this morning or right before lunch, and so I'm putting them in envelopes, and those will be going out today. So still have one little shop here that I need badge information on, but they're all coming in, and that the process was has taken longer than anticipated. Just there's just so many that I process those individually and then have to enter those credit cards each time and upload the picture and make sure the picture is right. So thank you guys for getting those in and working and being patient with those. If you have work orders, you haven't received your badge, please let me know. Clayton's on the other end sending out the work orders. So if you haven't gotten your badge and you need confirmation if they're good or not to go, because it is important to note that every person that goes to the customer's home is supposed to be badged and background checked. So, and I understand like you don't have your background badges yet, but just let me know. I can send you that email so we can at least have that paper that shows that you are in the process. Now,
Yep.
if you go to the Lowe's store to meet and introduce yourself, you don't have to have the badge. So, your outside sales rep or whomever is going to be going and introducing yourself, passing out the information in the packets, you don't necessarily have to have one.
So guys, anybody, if you send a helper on site to go to enter a customer's home and to help on the job, they need to have a badge, and your people need to wear these badges when they go to a Lowe's customer, the people that you send. Really important. We can get in a lot of hot water if we're not complying to this, and we're looking for ways to get around it. So please don't.
Okay, next up on the agenda, here's a little picture of what's going on in our office right now. We have all of our shower design guides, packets and books and materials we've received, and we're busily working to get those created for you guys so we can send those out. Our ideal goal is to have them all sent out by Friday. That's what we are anticipating, hoping. But in the meantime, we need you guys to fill out that form we sent to you last Friday that has the information. We need you to fill out for your credit card information. So if you will sign that and send that in. Let's see my next page here. So, Mike, do you want to talk about this or you want me to? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I will. Okay, so what we've done, guys, is we've grouped the buy to try to keep the cost down for everybody. And when she talks to you about sending out an email, this email was sent Friday to each of you that showed had an individual form attached with your amount. It also just showed the form for everybody in the program right here. And basically what we're doing is we've pre-advanced and run all these things, but we need everybody. It's $15 per book. Which is a reduction before. That includes shipping, and that's going to include 50 of each of the two-part forms that you need to be using, the estimate forms and also our new disclosure form, which is not just to be used with Lowe's. So, you know, we need to have you guys participate in this for your stores, and go back to the next slide. And what's coming, what you're getting for that is you're getting 2 PSI notebooks per assigned store. So these, what you need to do is you need to get out and hopefully handshake and meet the PSI and drop these off. And they got two notebooks to be left for them per store. You're going to get 2 notebooks basically for your office or specialists. So if you need more, we'll have to talk about that. If you have more people going to Lowe's customers, then we'll need to figure out how to make more. You guys will need to make copies of more. You'll get there's 2 cards that you leave in the plumbing department. Legacy is the plumbing department that you'll leave with the plumbing department people so that when they do a detail, the expectation and the training is going to be to show them that card so people are pre-qualified into the range of what it's going to cost for for a custom shower door and not buying one off the shelf. You have 2 of those for your office also, that when you're calling back customers to validate the call before you send someone out there, you'll be looking at exactly what the store should have disclosed to them. And then, as I said, you'll get actually it's 50 it's 50 of the 2-part legacy estimate forms and the 2-part pre-install forms.
Okay.
All tax and shipping is included. We don't have a way to collect, so you'll be paying. You'll be sending the forms to Kelly, and we'll run the cards through KG Enterprises, and then she'll end up forwarding the funds less card fees to us. And if you have an amount that exceeds $250, you guys can, we need you to just pay for it so we can ship them. If it's less than that, if it exceeds that, and if you want to basically defer the balance where you pay $50 per unit invoice as you start to get orders, we will do that, and we will track it until the full amount is paid in full, and we'll collect $50 per unit. So your deduction of fees will be $50 higher if you choose to go that route, and if you're over. Let's stop right now. Does anybody have any questions about the materials, what's coming and what they're for, and the charges? Okay, if you do, feel free to reach out to us, reach out to your FC. We'll get all your questions answered, but we're going to need to be, it's real important that we get these to you. We were late because of trying to group the buy and find the funding to front it and all that, so we're already behind the 8 ball. And these particular things are very important to the program. That's how they're going to price it. Now, what do you do in the meantime if you don't have these things? Well, you have PDF versions, and the stores have PDF versions of these notebooks. So it doesn't mean nobody can do anything. It just means it's not as accessible, as friendly, and as top of mind as it will be when we get out there and we meet people face to face and we pass these things out.
Okay. Mike, you said something that triggered, I think we could discuss, and I'm going to reach out and see if Corey has any feedback on it, put him on the spot. But when we're calling to set up these measurements for the legacy calls, and just pre-qualifying to make sure that they are wanting the heavy glass shower doors, Corey, what are some of the questions that you guys ask when calling to set up to make sure that it's not a shower that they saw at Lowe's that they're wanting to purchase?
I mean, you pretty much covered it there. It's mainly just asking those questions to the customer about the style of shower that they're looking for, make sure it is a heavy glass type 2 shower, that they're not wanting a bypass off the shelf or anything like that. I mean, you spend maybe 3, 4 to 5 minutes just kind of asking a few of those questions just to kind of get an idea of what you're walking into, and then they know that that's either a red flag that they don't want a custom 3/8 or either way, but that kind of helps you know on the front end if it is a legitimate call that you need to go out and look at for them.
So the key, guys, is asking them if they already have the product. Okay, why are you doing that? Because then it's the wrong kind of job. They're looking for, say just want to validate that number one, you're looking for a custom product and you haven't already purchased a product from Lowe's, off the shelf. And what's going to happen is that's going to tell you whether they're just looking for a labor only. Well, that means that's type 1. That's not really what this program is. And so you're going to want to stop before you go out there and kind of let us know that, and we can coach you through whether it's something that you want to try to accommodate or not. You're not under an obligation to go do a labor-only job. The other thing you're going to want to do is make sure that, okay, now that you know it's a door, single door, it's a door and a return, you're going to want to make sure that the price range on the in-store retail estimator that we're sending you, that basically they're aware that it could be it could be between that price range, and those are in the cards you're coming. I don't have it in front of me, or I do. Okay, and so you're talking, for example, single doors, $1,140 to $1,650. That's basically what they can expect, including tax, for that door to run. Now, if they say, no, that's way too much, I wasn't expecting that, then again, then we got to ask ourselves, then basically we got to, it's likely something that's going to get canceled and not worth going. And on that card, on the back, it gives you the talking points of all the things that affect price, on why that price, range could be so wide. But that's important to do, is to communicate with the customer so that you don't go out and do jobs that that were the wrong thing in the first place. If you do, that's not Lowe's fault. Okay, Lowe's needs to improve. I mean, we're trying to train Lowe's, but you know what? If we go out and we didn't make those pre-qualifying discussions and spend that 3-4 minutes, then we have to take the blame for it, because we're the experts. Lowe's is much harder to train. We'll get there, but we haven't spent enough time with them and in their stores. The program's new. So really, it's on us to get to know what the customer's looking for and validate what the customer's looking for. Now, what happens if it was wrong? You want to let us know, and then we're also going to want to reach out to the store, whether you do it or you work with Kelly or Clayton, and we reach out to the store, because there's our training opportunity. So the way you cut these situations way down is through each one that maybe comes where someone's made a mistake, is following up on it and making sure that we go back to the source and we understand and we work on using that example on what needs to be different or how to handle things differently next time. So one of the things I gotta let you guys know is that this is you got to look kind of big picture here, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be profitable today. That's why we have to be smart and not make dry runs. But this is a process that's going to take a while to get in place, where where over a course of time everybody really understands it.
So we have one from the Granbury shop. Danny Wilson, he got his first one and he went out. It's first one for that Lowe's store and for the shop, and it ended up being that the customer wanted a slider. So it wasn't the customer's fault that we went out there, because we didn't ask those qualifying questions, but the customer didn't want one from Lowe's. So we are working together with Lowe's. We have to go back and get permission from Lowe's to take care of the customer. So he notified us, so we've called Lowe's. They're getting permission, because of course they want the customer to be taken care of. We have to get that quoted. Clayton, we have to go back to Cardinal, and then Clayton works with us to make sure that we get everything put in there. So you're not able to give the customer a price on the spot. So you would want to make sure that you get their email address so we can send that back over to them once the quote is ready. Now, I mean, this isn't something that we want to do all the time, but we're definitely building relationship right now. Lowe's is super happy that we are still willing to take care of the customer, because they don't have that type 1 installer out there. And it also is a great training opportunity. I'm working with the plumbing department, just on the phone to let them know about our program and what's going on. So,
Kelly, one of the things I'd like to correct is what's changed is we don't need to ask permission anymore. Okay, we the customer's already been in Lowe's. If they say, no, it wasn't in Lowe's, I didn't want to buy that unit in Lowe's, and that's why you want to qualify. Did you see the unit in Lowe's that you wanted to purchase? Now that that situation we need to stop and identify. But the big thing is, take care of what the customer is asking for. And we sent out in this program, we forward to you the way to calculate pricing. And you can't do it on site because you need to go figure out what it is and get a quote for the materials. But there's a form, a non-shower design guide pricing form on how to go about pricing a Lowe's job back to the customer, so you make sure you include the appropriate fees and markup and everything that's going to make sure you can make money. Remember, Lowe's takes 25%. There's some Dwyer Service Solution fees in there. If you don't have that form, reach out to your FC and we'll get it to you, or to Kelly and Clayton. But there is a non-shower design guide form for things that are not on, that you cannot quote out of the design guide. It's the way you go about it to do it properly. Because remember, we got to present to Lowe's, including tax and everything. And there's a specific way, and this worksheet walks you down step by step on how to price that particular job.
Okay.
The overriding thing is take care of the customer, but if there is confusion, stop and give us, let us know, and then we'll work to help clean up the confusion. But either way, we'll go back and we'll go back and give feedback to the store that this wasn't exactly right down the pipe of what the program is, but that we made sure we took care of the customer.
So from our last meeting, due to the holidays, it's been a while since we've met up and had a meeting, but we've received 25 of the legacy work orders, and we've received 15 of the PSI, the sold jobs. So anyone on the call who's received their first work orders, do you have any questions or concerns? Now is our time to open that. Let's see. Dane, you guys have done a couple of work orders now, right?
Yeah, Kelly, this is Wayne.
Hi,
We're
Wayne.
still having trouble getting the drawings and pricing for PSI showers.
Yes. So that is very, very important that we get those drawings when we're getting the PSI jobs, because we don't know what was sold, so we are sending you guys out blind. We understand that. We, Clayton and myself, when we get PSI jobs, we immediately pick up the phone and we start trying to call the person who just sent us that. There is a bit of a challenge because they log in to different accounts, so it may say Henry sent us the work order, but it was really Jill. So that is a challenge, and we need to work on that. Maybe, Mike, you can put some insight to that. I mean, that's something that we do understand you guys need.
Yeah, so we're working with Lowe's to figure out how to improve that. But I think that that's one reason why the PSI relationship and knowing the PSI is important, as we're trying to get to. So I think it's going to be something that we're going to need to try to work from both ends to get it. So we will still send you out the work order. Now remember, PSI is going to be months before you have to go out there. But we're putting in a status where we know we have not received that. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to need to be working together to figure out, who to get to and how to make sure we get that in our possession and loaded. And and that's something you should have before you actually go out on site. So, I don't know on the other end. I don't know. It's just going to be a matter of reaching out to each individual PSI that the store has come from and explain that to them. And and I'll work upstream. If someone, isn't doing it, all I can do is ask Lowe's to continue to retrain. But it's going to be a matter of working with store by store until they understand what it is we're asking them to send us.
Yeah, because that is something we brought up while we were out there too at the headquarters or the corporate office. But yeah, we've.
I mean, Dwayne, do you know the actual? There's only one PSI usually in each store.
That's right.
What we got to do is, again, we got to figure out who that is and kind of make sure we get that locked in, so that's a training issue that, we got to get them aware of it, or we got to, push them and explain to them why we got to have it, why it's so important, and get them to work with their superiors, or let us know so we can get notice to their superiors or whatever on where they find that stuff to make sure it comes.
Another caution, you have to make sure that the price they're giving you is the actual price out of the book, and not a price where they've already discounted the markups from Lowe's and just saying this is what we're going to pay last October. And then you put that in your system and then take another 25% off of Lowe's. You're really cheating yourself.
Yeah, well,
that to us.
That shouldn't happen because, again, a PO's got to come through here. But, yes, we do need to make sure that their purchase order should come discounted, but the price list they worked up should be retail. So should be, should be 20, or that discounted price divided by 0.25, which is what they're going to take, or divided by 0.75, which is what they're going to take, should equal the retail sheet. So yes, you guys should only get that to qualify your PO amount, not to exceed amount, which we should be sending now more real time, should be your net price that comes through Corrigo, the net price you're going to get. But the retail price is so you can go make sure we can calibrate it to what the PSI provided the customer. Key is that they use the PSI form, which asks for dimensions and all, and if we can get a copy and get them using that form and including that when they send to us, or like you say, a minimum of the drawing, then we're going to have what we need. And that, there's no easy answer for that, but we need to stay on that. That is getting to know the PSIs, and us working our side and you working your side. We're immediately going to start calling them when it comes in and try to track it down, but we'll ask you to do the same from your end on the PSI for that store. And at some point, the PSI should start to understand what's needed and why, and we should be getting what we want.
So Lowe's has their own portal that they work in to dispatch the work orders. And Glass Doctor, here at corporate office, we have our own program, and that's called Corrigo, which we've been working to get everyone connected and signed up. We still have some franchisees at our shops that we're needing to get signed up or connected. If this email address you see on the screen is not the one you want us to send the invite to, please send us an email and let us know. I know, Olivia, we're working with Corrigo and you guys to get yours set up because you're still not connected, right? Okay. So if your name's on here, we've sent out emails. Just please let us know what we can do to help to get you guys connected. And the reason we need to be connected is when we get a work order, we can send it over to you guys.
The FCs, if your FCs are on here, you need to be proactive and reach out to those particular franchisees and help make sure it happens.
And then I know I've gone over it. I'm just going to quickly go over the steps of getting connected. So you guys will receive an email, and I send it. Those emails listed were the ones I'm sending this to. And it's just if you're not a member, you click on that link. And then it takes you to this screen here, the Connection Center, about your company. So you'll fill out that information. You're going to add your address, your city, state, your tax ID number. And then hit continue. So the next page, it'll ask you to select your membership level. And remember, there's two types. There's the $5 work order or $30 a month. We strongly encourage everyone to sign up for the $5 work order as you begin. And whenever your work orders, we see that you're progressing to get more, it'll be worth your money to get the $30 a month. So $5 is what you select. Then you enter your credit card. So, no, there was a question before. So at the end of the month, each accepted work order that you get, Corrigo will charge your credit card that you enter $5 of work order. Then this is your Connection Center page. At the bottom left here, you see it says customers need a response. It tells you how many work orders you have, and then it'll tell you how much you've invoiced to date. So you'll have all the information there, and you can click on it. And once you've hit that screen, you've been connected, you'll get another email that'll tell you that. The one on our screen right now, this is an example of your work order that you get. And you can reply all to this email once you get your work order and say accept, and that will let us know that you've picked it up, you've accepted the work order, and then you will take this information and you're going to put it in to Main Street. So you'll mirror your information.
So guys, everybody that's on this program can't work without people getting comfortable and proficient at leaving us notes and accepting things and sending us the billing and everything through Corrigo. So as we scale and then we get more velocity, this is going to become more and more important. We don't need your invoice. We just need you to electronically invoice the amount in Corrigo that matches the not to exceed, and we need your sign-off form is what we need. We have already agreed through the not to exceed at what the amount is going to be, including tax, other than North Carolina. North Carolina is the only place where taxes, where it doesn't include tax, and that is built into your books already, by the way. The tax is built into your books. But this is going to become real important, and those of you that are already doing it, getting better and better at it, and always leaving us notes that you've scheduled the call, or that when you're going out, that you've accepted the work order, that you've responded to the customer, all that. That's critical, because that creates a flag on our side, so that we don't have to pick up the phone and start calling and hounding you guys.
So this next screen is...
Mike, this is Wayne. On this tax business, as I understood it, in North Carolina, we received a memo that said that we were not to charge tax, that Lowe's would tax the customer, and we're just a subcontractor, no tax.
Yes, only in North Carolina. That is correct.
Okay, so the list price out of the book has tax in it, so Lowe's should know that. I did not know that they have... No, there is no tax in it. The list price in the book we have has no tax.
Yes. So what you need to do is your tax needs to be added on when you're presenting.
Lowe's will do that.
Oh yeah, Lowe's will do that. That's correct. No,
we don't.
Yeah, Lowe's does that. That's correct.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to worry about it.
Yours is going to be not including tax, and then I'm getting a certificate. So when you bill us, you don't bill tax. Everybody else has tax to be part of that final number. All other states.
Okay.
And that's included in the not to exceed that comes back to you. It includes tax, and that in your taxes are built into the Lowe's quota that the store and you have been provided.
So over here on the right is the schedule. This is important to keep up to date with whenever you're scheduling the measure date, and then you can change it to schedule whenever the install comes. Messages here, this is how we talk back and forth, so you want to keep this up to date. If you call the customer and they didn't answer, if you called the customer, you left a message, if you call the customer and you set up the measure date, let us know. If you have an issue or the number's not working, which we've had that issue with Corey, they had a job that the customer's numbers were not correct. We've had to try several. So just talk back and forth with us on this message. That's the best way to keep all the information, the notes for this particular customer in one spot.
And they're checking, because our job is, you remember we say we need to have the appointment scheduled with the customer within 48 hours, right? Doesn't mean you have to be there in 48 hours, but you've made contact. Well, if you haven't been able to, then at least we can see that you've been trying. Otherwise, when you go put in the schedule date, we know when it's happening, and that's the end of story. When Lowe's calls us or whatever, I mean, we've got what we need without having to call, and it's part of the record.
Yep. So this is just a little screen that Clayton and myself keep up on our computer. This is all the work orders that are going on right now. all the work orders for legacy jobs. And then we have all the work orders for PSI. It's in a different screen. I see here we have a flag here, so that means that Scorzo Shop has sent us a message about this customer. So Clayton or myself would go in and check that. And that would just be from you guys sending a message.
And what happens is it doesn't get lost in people's emails. Okay? I mean, what we'd like to, our ambition is we give you a dedicated email. We'd like to really communicate other than general communications. When it has to do about specific jobs, we'd like to really communicate through the system, so we have all that history, and it's date stamped and time stamped, and we don't have to do it outside the system. That'll cut down a lot of mistakes and confusion to everybody. Can hold everybody accountable to executing, and we can execute a lot more when we can do it within the system, and we're not having to do it outside the system.
Yeah. And whenever I was talking about that schedule date, super helpful to keep those up to date, especially with the legacy jobs, because then we can quickly go to the screen and say, oh, they're scheduled to go out on this day, or they're scheduled to go out, whenever Lowe's calls for an update. So if you guys have work orders, you can go back and add those schedule dates and just not in the notes. That helps us out tremendously. As you can see, we have a lot of work orders that we're getting updates on, Lowe's calling, and statuses that we're working on. So,
well, and the other thing, guys, is without that date triggers us to follow up and look for the retail quote to be loaded within 24 hours or within a day. So, for us to be able to do a good job making sure we're hitting our service levels, that we need dates, because otherwise there's no way for Kelly and Clayton to organize what they're following up on very efficiently. So those dates are going to become more and more important.
Yep.
Kelly, I don't know that we need to go over this. I think what I'd like to do is open the floor.
Okay.
We can send this out, I think, because we're getting, by the way, this is the most important thing. This is all we need when a job's completed. We need you to bill, put the amount in Corrigo, and send it completed as through the system. You can send us the invoice email, but remember, I'd rather have you electronically invoice it in the system, which we don't really need a copy of your work order of your invoice, and attach this certificate of completion. Without this from the customer, we cannot submit it to Lowe's and get payment. It will not process without one of these. So if your guy forgot to get it, then you need to follow up with that customer and email it and ask them to get it, because it's just like a facility maintenance company sign-off sheet. They're mandatory.
So Lowe's, just this year, they're starting a new program for payment. They will pay 3 days after the job is completed. But they have to have this COC, this certificate of completion. So if you send me this the day you get completed, I mean, the payment, they're working to roll that payment out faster. Now, by the time they pay us, we'll be shortening that time, but it's very important to get that certificate of completion turned in, uploaded, because I have to grab it and email it over to Lowe's to alert them that this job is done. So they'll start working on payment.
And just like you guys, they don't need the invoice from us, because they've already issued a PO in that amount. They just need to know it's done and the customer's happy. So from you guys, I do need you to just electronically invoice it in Corrigo, which means when you submit the invoice, it's electronic, and you attach the COC. We got everything we need, because we've already, the not to exceed amount in your system should equal what your invoice equals. Because that should have been figured out, when the PO came in and was sent through, that should have netted that out to the proper price for you.
All right. Does anyone have anything?
Yeah, I think people that have taken their time, if you open floor for discussion amongst yourselves or with anybody. That's what I want to start spending the most time on is, what's going on out there and what questions do you have so we can answer them from people doing, with all the perspectives of doing what you're already doing.
Mhm. Well, let's see. Shane, how did your work orders go? You guys got a few of them?
We've had a few. We had the first ones that we had were they wanted something off the shelf. Another one we just went out to Saturday, we had scheduling issues as far as person or the customer's only scheduled date was Saturday, so we just went out there this past Saturday. As far as once we do go out there and give these estimates to them, is this something that we go in and we follow up on, or
Yeah, so
how does that
this
work?
it used to be that Lowe's was kind of the one that followed up. So Lowe's will be following up, but I prefer that we also do it, okay? Because I don't want to leave it just to Lowe's. But just be aware that Lowe's is probably calling on it. But you can also, from the standpoint, do you have any questions? I just want to make sure you have any questions and so forth, and make sure that because I'd like you guys to hear it firsthand, and also know if they've said no, I'm not going with it, or I'm going with it. So you don't have to work it maybe as diligently as if it was just your own. Would follow up. Now we close them at 40, we're closing them at 45 days. It doesn't mean we can't reopen them, but we're either closing them. Is it 45 or 30, Clayton?
30.
Okay. So what we're doing is you'll see us close the ticket at 30 days. Now, it doesn't mean it's completely dead, but 30 days, or we've heard from the shop that it's a no-go, or we've heard from Lowe's that it's a no-go. And then what we got to do is make sure the communication gets through to Lowe's if the shop has heard that it's a no-go, or that the communication gets through the system to you guys if they tell us it's a no-go.
Okay.
And what we're shooting for, and what they're shooting for, we're shooting for on the legacy. Okay, again, which is the coming out of the plumbing department stuff, is we're shooting for a 50% closing rate. Okay, we'd like it to be better, but that's kind of our expectation of every job you actually go out to. Now, if you pre-qualify it and you don't go out to it, we don't include that in there. I mean, it's administrative noise, but that's part of kind of bringing the system up and kind of a training issue.
Gotcha.
The jobs that are valid that you go out to that had it, we're looking to close 50%. We'd like it to be higher, but that we've told them we can live with that. But if it gets below that, then it's going to cause a problem because it's going to be too much effort for the return.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's why the PSI is key, to get the PSIs up and going in the markets, because those are pretty much 100% sold.
So we were talking about these notebooks and pads and things that are going to be sent there. When should we be expecting those? That's something
We are trying really hard to be able to send you your shop with Ben. We're trying to send it. I think he's going up. Is that right, Ben? You're still going up.
If you have them ready, they'll be there Wednesday with me.
Yep. We're going to try to have them ready for him to take up on Wednesday. If not, they'll go out by the end of the week once we receive that payment. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is something that once we have that information, it's best to meet with these PSI guys at these different locations and kind of go over the program to get that program rolling. Is that what I'm understanding? Sorry, this is like my second conference call.
No, you're fine.
I'm trying to get all caught up.
Yeah, and that's not the easiest things, but that's the intention. So Corey, or
Wayne. Yep.
kind of explain to them what they're going to experience. We really want to try to track down names and emails, whether it's on your side or our side, and kind of communicate, a time to stop by and drop it off and introduce yourself. Because a lot of times they're not there, so we really don't want you making dry runs, and we don't you don't necessarily need to go to the plumbing department, if you don't have a PSI. What I would do is if you have a PSI visit, that's the time to visit and introduce yourself, talk a little bit to the plumbing department.
Gotcha.
But yes, you're going to want to start trying to track down and schedule opportunities to stop by and drop it off and introduce yourself and answer questions with the PSIs, because the program picks up when you get to know the PSIs. That's the whole idea. It's just
Gotcha.
tracking them down and kind of haranguing them so we can all do that. And you can, if you work with Ben and you work with let us know what's going on, and we can also help track down information. You don't necessarily need to run to every store. Do it efficiently. I mean, eventually
Right.
you need to get to all your stores, but you don't need to kill yourself over it. But you need to be now trying to crack, the process of getting it out. And every store that reaches out to us, we need to be very proactive on responding, and they become targets to hook up time with. Like we'll
Okay.
get some that know about the program and they've reached out to us. Then at that point, now it's a different issue. It's time sensitive to be responsive to that particular PSI.
Okay.
And Mike, would it behoove us to work together when I'm on site to try to visit some of these stores? Just
It wouldn't hurt to see what you see. It
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt to see what you run into, so you have a first-hand
Yeah.
experience. Now, Wayne, you've gone out and seen some stores. Tell us what's worked and what hasn't worked. Or
Yeah, I run into a few issues. One, the PSI said that their contractors like to work with their own shower people, so they don't push it. Lots of stores I've been to, the PSIs, I either miss them, they've just left, or they're not there, or they've gone to another store. I have more luck with the plumbers, but even with the plumbers, I meet one or two plumbers, and there's other ones are on a shift. They come in later, they come in the next day, they come in at night. So it takes a lot of visits if you want to really try to meet a lot of people.
well, yeah, and you know what? By the way, text us or let us know what specific PSIs and stores you catch that, because Lowe's has no.
I've already done that. Well, I sent Kelly a list of the
Okay.
ones that I have.
Well, we'll work on that. They have a misunderstanding of, what Lowe's wants here. And we can work to overcome that. Now, as far as just dropping by, again, unless you're in the area and you're doing something else, that is the hard way to do it. We do got to figure out how to call the stores and ask for the PSI or get emails, which is we're getting more of those, but to set a time to go by, because the PSIs aren't going to necessarily be very, very available, and that is
The problem I have, Mike, is a lot of my stores, it takes an hour to get to the store, and then a half an hour to the next store, and so on and so forth. So those stores way out. I don't hit them very often. A couple of them I haven't even gone to yet. They attended our session when we did the training, and I talked to them on the phone, but it takes a lot to get out there and visit with those folks.
Well, wouldn't that mean that would be even more important to kind of work to schedule it, rather than you can't afford to take it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
You got to try to get 2 or 3 stores in the same general area.
right.
Try to lock them all together somehow.
Right. And I do think that I'm not stressed out if we're focused on a couple of stores, then 2 or 3 stores. I'm not stressed out about all those outliers and leaving those for later, or leaving those to when you actually have a contact that is eager and willing and wants you to come on out. Right?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying is, if we can uncover, or they come in, now that changes the game, because they're asking you rather than us trying to get their attention. But the stores that are closer are the stores that are easier to work, that are close to you, are the ones to focus on cracking, so you can get some business up and going. And then to the extent we have obstacles there, that we need to figure out, how to work around them. With obstacles from the PSIs, we need to tactfully go higher up and get them to be nudged to accommodate.
Right.
Okay.
Bruce Neal, how are you doing? I see you're on. Okay. You must not be on. So, okay.
He's muted on his end.
we're working on introducing a bypass, which will be substantial. They have a bypass that's very popular, but it's not custom at all. So unless your opening it's semi-custom, but it really doesn't accommodate very much. So the next most important thing is to introduce a bypass solution, the Cardinal bypass solution, Skyline series, because there's been a lot of requests for that are being missed. Wayne, do you have any feel for closing of the ones you do go to?
We really haven't been to that many yet, but it seems like the ones that have come to us, we've actually received those orders.
Okay. Okay.
Particularly the PSIs, they're pretty much given when they come to you.
Right. Okay. Corey, anything new on your guys' front? The model for this program is Charlotte. It's doing a lot of business and regular business, and it continues to pick up. So Charlotte is kind of, doesn't mean it's not without their issues. They've worked through a lot of challenges, but Charlotte is the model of knowing what it can mean to a particular market and to a shop, because it's really improved their shower door sales and their whole program, including their Glass Doctor stuff. Corey, anything new going on out there?
Not too much new. We've added Wyatt to our team out there. He's calling on the Lowe's. He's dedicated to that, which we're hoping picks up some speed here in the next upcoming months. But there's nothing really new outside of that.
Yeah. So what Ed Sieber's shop, this is Sieber's shop, it is, they've gotten to the point where they feel it's worthwhile to go, have someone see all the stores and get more organized on doing that, because part of it's because he's already seeing a pretty good volume, but he could see there's a whole lot more to gain there. So, he's been into a year and a half, and that's, it's taken him a while to get there. And frankly, that's the store that's the area that's most mature with its PSI program, because that's where they started it, because it's their backyard. So, but it does let us know that we know the program will work. It's just a matter of Lowe's learning it, us learning it, and kind of controlling the things we can control and evolving. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. If you haven't sent in your ACH and W-9s, I know it's a lot we're asking, sending in and doing, but if you'll send those in, we need to get those over to our accounting department so they can get you in our system. So when you do get a job, we can get you paid quickly.
You don't have those in, then we need, Kylie, then I want the FCs to know, and then the FCs follow up, because we've asked for quite some time, and it's really important. Our system, the Corrigo system, doesn't work and integrate with accounting without a W-9 loaded, and ACH is the only way we're to cut down time for you guys, transit time and payment time, and also streamline it for accounting. ACH is the only option. That's the only way we can get you payment through this program. So obviously, if we don't have an ACH on file, that's going to be a problem.
Yep.
More for you than us, but we want to make sure we get you paid.
Hey, Michael?
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, it's Bruce. I was on the computer a little while ago, and I didn't have any voice, so I got back on by phone. The only thing that I'd like to say, we got into one of these with Lowe's, and the customer had to go back to Lowe's and ask a second time, and so we were late when we went out on one of the first two dispatches that we got. But we didn't have anything to do with that, but it was sort of a negative when I called the lady, because she had to go back to Lowe's and ask a second time, and it had been a couple of weeks, and so I just want to mention that.
Yeah, and you know what? That was a breakdown in administration. So yeah, that we apologize for putting you in that situation, and as we brought on a lot of these new stores, there's been a lot of setup and stuff, and that just got caught. That just got caught and fell through a crack. But that should be that should not be an issue going forward. And you know, if you do your part, we'll see to it that we do our part and get things out to you in a more timely manner. But thanks for the feedback, Bruce. I'm aware of what happened there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've talked with
Yeah,
the store, and that was definitely a breakdown on our end. They're in just sending over the paperwork to the correct email fax number. So going forward, we should have that all taken care of. So thank you for going out. Sorry, it kind of put you in a situation where the customer was already upset. Hopefully they'll purchase. You had 2 of them, right, that you've done?
Yeah, I did, and that person said that they were going to pool their money after Christmas, after the first of the year. I think we're going to do the job, so you know it's okay. I just wanted to make mention of that, and I guess it was because my email address was incorrect. I don't know.
Okay. We've got it all worked out, I believe, now. So once the customer does purchase, then we'll get a PO with that amount, and we'll let you guys know that the customer's purchased and it's time to go forward. It's time to order their glass. So just wait. Hopefully we can get them to buy. But yeah, that seems to be a issue after Christmas. People are wanting to save up some more money or decide.
So the moving parts on that is, is Lowe's getting it to us correctly, to the right fax or email, and as the program's new, that sometimes breaks down. Did we get it, and did we make sure that we got it processed in a timely manner? And I think part of the breakdown with this is that we were still scrambling to set up all the locations in the system and needed some help from Corrigo to do that. Yeah. So, and what should have happened is we should have sent it out manually, but time just got away from us with holidays and everything. But I think, again,
we should get it within that 24-hour period of whenever they purchased it, depending on if it's on a Saturday, then we won't get it processed into you guys till on a Monday. But we should get it in 24 hours and get it sent out to you guys so that you have time to respond to that.
You could have it within 24 hours of when they were at the store, if not sooner. And then, and if not, then like I said, other than it's a weekend, then it broke down, it delayed somewhere. But one of the things, if you guys run into it, this is a new program. I'll be glad to make a phone call, or we'll get the FCs involved to kind of help cover and kind of create some cover for you guys, and just explain to them it's a new program that we're working out with Lowe's, and we apologize there. It's so new that there was a misunderstanding on on where that work order needed to go.
And that's exactly what I did. So if you guys just reach out and let us know, we're here. We want the program to work and grow. So just let us know. And thank you for that feedback too. That's what this call is actually for. Is for what's going on. So very good.
Out of respect for everybody's time, if there's no other comments, we'll go ahead and drop off.
All right.
And the call's going to change to those of you that participate. It's going to change from showing you what we need to talking about what's going on out there, and kind of some follow-up items on to answer your questions on real-world stuff you're facing or encountering to figure out who can do what to help the situation.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.